This is Founders Games Metaverse Rounds.
Welcome to the Founders Games.
The biggest growth stage challenge on the planet with $6 million award. The collective intelligence of 250 VC investors evaluated over 3,000 applications of growth stage companies. Only 60 made it to this third round.
Thrilled to be here. So great to be a part of Webital.
All of them are superheroes. They are saving the future of the humankind by generating social and environmental impact through their exponentially growing innovative businesses. Welcome to the better future. Founders Game starts now.
Hello and welcome to the Founders Games e-commerce third round. What an excitement and interesting times. I will see some of the best startups and scale-ups presenting today in the e-commerce vertical, and I will have a fantastic fellow co-jury members coming from all around the world, which I welcome them now to help us select the best of the best that will move next to the semifinals of the Founders Games. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce my fellow jury members, starting with Riccardo Cirillo, who is an entrepreneur, founder, and managing partner at DIP Disruption Investment platform, which is focused on digital transformation in Europe. Such a pleasure to have you, Riccardo. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
And a pleasure to welcome Louise Hagen, who is partner at Luminar Ventures. Luminar is one of the most active VCs in the Nordics. Prior to Luminar, Louise has spent 12 years leading positions as Axel Johnson's and the other largest family-owned groups of companies in the Nordics. Pleasure to have you, Louise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And here with us is also Wissam Mansour, who is founding partner and CEO of Neventa Capital. He was also co-founder of MIG, Big Bang, also more than 21 years of experience in investment management, banking, strategic planning, operations, and innovations. Pleasure to have you with us, Wissam.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
It's my pleasure to introduce the rules before we move on to the first founder. The jury shall evaluate the top companies in this vertical and shall select a winner against 6 equally important criteria. 1. Business model scalability, market adoption, and timing. 2. Uniqueness of the idea. 3. Team capacity. 4. Funding and financing. 5. Leadership and personal qualities. And 6. Impact factor. Is the company generating social and environmental change? Each criteria brings up to 10 points, so the maximum a company can get from each jury member is 60 points. Only 5 of the semi-finalists shall reach to the final round and win a share of a $6 million award. Let the Founders Games begin.
Participant number 1.
Let's see who is the first entrepreneur and founder in our backstage.
Hi, guys. My name is Cirillo. I'm the co-founder of Cirillo.
"60 seconds, pitch starting now."
Cirillo is an e-commerce app with embedded finance for retailers in French-speaking Africa. Basically, we are an FMCG wholesaler, and we help mom and shops around Africa to develop their business with fintech products. We operate in Morocco, which is our home country, but we also have operations in Tunisia, in Ivory Coast, and in France.
Ready for Q&A.
I would be curious to learn a little bit more about your customers that you work with, the merchants. What proportion of their volumes are you supplying them with today, and how has it developed over time?
Our home country is Morocco, so that's the place we started. There are more than 200,000 small merchants in Morocco, and we are already working with about 10% of them. But we're also working in Tunisia and Ivory Coast, but it's still a small business we are starting at the moment.
It's very impressive that you already have 10% of the clients or of the merchants in Morocco. But can you give me a little bit of an example of the ones that you've been working with for a longer time? I guess they have other ways of purchasing their supplies from you, but have you managed to, get more and more of their volumes?
Yeah, our typical customers is the real mom-and-pop shops. It's really small merchants at the corner of the street. And our goal is to be the one-stop shop for them. They are really small. They don't have a lot of supply waste. So we are trying to be their only partner where they can find everything they need for their shop.
Can you tell us more about the revenue model? So how are they paying? Are they paying a subscription? Are they paying a percentage of the services? And if so, which services? Just the financial
our core business, yes, our core business is really wholesaling. We buy the products, the FMCG products. We are distributors of multinational companies, like for example in Morocco, we are distributor of Procter & Gamble, and then we sell the products to the small mom-and-pop shops. Most of the time they pay cash on delivery, but that's really something we're trying to focus or change. We are providing them a wallet, therefore they can start paying with wallet, digital money instead of only cash. The thing you have to remember is that the main goal that we are targeting with Shari is to help those populations to get financial access. Most of the population here in Morocco and especially Africa is unbanked. So financial inclusion is one of the main goals that we have.
I have a question regarding unit economics and margins, if you can elaborate a little bit on that. This is one part, and the other part regarding churn. What is your churn rate, and if you can touch on matrix in general?
Take rate is traditionally the pain point in FMCG wholesaling, as margins are really short. As we can say is that our operational margins are break-even at the moment in Morocco. So we make enough money to get our operation break-even, and then we get margin thanks to fintech. I think our core business, which is wholesaling FMCG products, we run our operations and then we add margins thanks to financial services.
What are the characteristics of like a local area? But when you're looking to expand, like are there specific areas, regions that are more, beneficial for your model in terms of density or other?
Yes, we are focusing on French-speaking Africa because it's a part of the continent that there are only a few competitors. You already have some of our competitors in English-speaking Africa, and as it comes to French-speaking Africa, we are only a few. So it's like a virgin land we can go.
If you can touch a bit on the barriers to entry and how big is the market in general, and how defensible is your business model?
As you can see here, in French-speaking Africa, the market is around $300 billion. So it's quite a big business in French-speaking Africa. I mean FMCG trading, but once you add fintech services and payment services, the market is even bigger, and it's a green land. Most of the population in French-speaking Africa, or in Africa in general, they don't have any access to digital finance. Trying to distribute financial services thanks to our network of merchants is really the main challenge we are facing, and the market is huge. Thanks to the small merchants we are working with, we have the ability to reach populations that traditional institutions can't reach.
Tell us more about the leadership team. Who's with you? Who else? Which skills? Or is hiring one of your challenges or not?
Hiring, of course, is it's a challenge, and especially in Africa, because what we are trying to do is something that has not really been done here in Africa in our geography. So we need to get new partners and new talents to come with the team and to join us in Africa. We are three co-founders, Ismail, Sophia, and myself. We made our studies abroad. Obviously, I'm French. I'm not from Morocco. They are from Morocco, but they've been studying in the US or in Canada. We are former consultant from McKinsey and BCG. And we are always welcome to new entrepreneurs in our geography, people that are willing to try to set up new businesses here in Africa. It's a really challenging geography and with a huge experience to have. So yes, if you have any idea, people willing to join our journey, it would be great.
The moment of truth. Direct feedback from the jury.
I think it would be interesting to understand more of the dynamics in the market. How do you onboard your customers? How do you reach them? What are the constraints? Like more on a more operational level, I think it's always interesting to learn even more.
We invested in e-commerce businesses before, and the biggest challenge really is around getting the unit economics, right, and to have the right margins, etc. But what's important, I think, is really around having the right scale, because again, with scale, your whole margins basically works in your favor. So I guess scale and unit economics is the main 2 points to keep in mind. If I understood correctly, like your business is more like B2B business rather than a B2C, which again in this scenario they're gonna be even more price sensitive, right? So I think these are points to take into consideration.
It's a very amazing and challenging project for sure. Very smart way to address the population limited or non-existing access to digital banking systems. So very good. From my experience of investing directly in large B2B platforms in the e-grocery space is not exactly the same thing, but some challenges are very similar. I think for sure massive focus on scale locally before moving on a too large geography. I think that's one of the critical issues. Very, very sharp with operations, but I'm sure I'm stating something very obvious. Sorry for that, Cirillo, but that's the kind of experience we had. The more digital solution could help you in doing that, the more it's worth to invest in your roadmap from an efficiency viewpoint provided by digital tools. It's definitely going to be capital intensive, I suspect, and so never give your next round for granted. Start always very, very early, in particular in these days. But so far, well done. It's very interesting.
I think it's a very fascinating project. I think that the pivoting and adding the financial tools on the top of the e-commerce platform is a great opportunity and really adding value to the markets where you are. So I would love to see you further into Founders Games and making to the next stages. If not this time, maybe the next time, but looking at your numbers and how you develop, I keep my finger crossed for your success. So good luck. It's time to see one anonymous scoring.
Participant number 2.
And now it's time for our second contestant here and participant in the third round of the e-commerce vertical of the Founders Games, where we are not only scoring the success of the companies, but also their impact factor generating social and environmental change. Let's see who is in our backstage now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Julia, and I'm co-founder of ZIM Connections.
Julia, such a pleasure to have you with us. And this is your avatar. So we are waiting for you to present your company.
60 seconds pitch starting now.
Today, I want you to imagine that you're traveling to the country of your dreams. And when you get to your destination, your only two options to get connected are to either buy a local SIM or pay very expensive roaming, but not anymore. The eSIM technology is here, a digital SIM card that allows you to buy, to compare, purchase, and activate a plan straight through our platform. This is all possible by partnering up with local providers through a commission-based model and by acting as a B2B tool with travel agencies. Thanks to both these channels, this will give them the opportunity to achieve a market share of 6 million by 2024. And Apple has already validated our market by announcing that the next iPhone will be eSIM only in the US. We have already launched the app in more than 150 countries, and we have increased since April a 28% increased course volume in our customers month to month, and we have 20,000 downloads cross-platform. This is our team that made all of this happen. It's comprised of 10 tech and travel enthusiasts, from which include Ahmad, our head of tech, Nivina, and I, the co-founders. Thank you, and join us in the future of connectivity.
Ready for Q&A.
Is there any specific strategy from a geographic viewpoint? Do you have some priorities, some geographic focus to start with, or is it just global?
Of course, so we made the strategy to launch globally in almost as many countries as possible, so we have 150, but we are targeting 3 countries in the beginning, including the US, UK, and Spain. That's where the customers are going the most and traveling the most, and in a few months, we'll expand our strategy into more countries.
How do you see your differentiation and moat, like over time?
Currently, we differentiate by having a more competitive pricing against our competitors. We're also looking into adding phone numbers. And right now, all our competitors and us are providing data plans. And right now, we're starting with phone numbers in the US. That's something that we haven't seen in the market until now.
Can you touch a bit more on the competition? Who are the main players in this market? This is one question. And the other one, do you think providing a local number would be a big advantage, or is it enough for having data packages?
Of course, we're not the only players in the market. We currently us and Narvala are the only marketplaces out there. The rest are companies, are actual providers themselves that they are renting the network of other countries. That's where the prices go up and the data connectivity worsens up. So that's the main differentiation between us and them. And to answer your question of the phone numbers, it does give a very big value to customers. We have researched the market, and although data is very important, there is a very specific type of travel that requires phone numbers. For example, for international students, they need a phone number to open a bank account. For any even normal tourist travelers, if they ever want to call a restaurant, if they want to call an Uber, it does require a local phone number. And it's a necessity that has been demanded by the market, and we're just going to answer to it.
I do agree with you. Actually, I'm using some of these services all the time. And is the number your main differentiation? And what do you expect that the market will look like in the next few months? Because I think most of those that I'm using, and I promise I'm going to start to use, I'll check yours service, but most of them plan to add the phone numbers to the service.
And well, it's not our main differentiation, but it's something that we're going to work in to differentiate us from the rest of the companies. How I see the market going is that eSIM is growing drastically. Especially now that customers are finally understanding what it is and actually know that they have it in their phone, because we've seen that until now, the first barriers to actually explain to customers that eSIM exists. And it's going to be a normal use in the next few years. Everyone's going to start using eSIM instead of SIM cards. So we just want to accelerate that process and give them connectivity everywhere.
We talked about revenues. I was curious to understand a couple of things. One is how much of your revenues are coming from returning customers, if it's, already a significant, meaningful indicator for you, and how you calculate your LTV at this stage, considering that you're still a young startup.
From our current customers, 30% are returning. you have to consider that we target different type of customers. One of them are travelers that travel once or twice per month, and then international travelers that can take plans up to 12 months recurring. So that's where the LTV comes in. So we have an LTV of 100, and that we calculated with the average price of the plan and how many years they would stay with us, including that they would travel either once or twice per year or 12 times a year, like that's depending on the type of travel they have. So it does vary a lot. You can buy a plan for 7 days, or you can buy a recurring plan for 12 months. So it's a very big average.
How do you acquire customers at the first place?
We are creating the brand awareness, social media, and paid campaigns. We're also connecting with this niche of customers through blogs. We're targeting travel companies, and we're directly working with their customers, any type of affiliations. And we're also doing internal advertisement, so through the app or through our newsletter.
What is your average APR? I understand that there are different packages, but if you put an average, what would it be? And then compare it to your cost of acquisition.
Of course. So our average price per plan is 20 pounds. As I said, like we have local plans for 5 days, and then we have global plans for a month that cover also 117 countries. So the prices do vary a lot. Our cost of acquisition right now is 15 pounds, and we're looking to lower that by increasing marketing.
Tell me a little bit more about the team and what experiences you have that's going to enable you to win in this sector.
Of course. So we are 10 in the team. The founders, me and Umina, we both come from backgrounds in economics, financials, and product development. We have launched the company 2 years ago. We have learned a lot about the telecom and eSIM industry. We also have an entire team of developers that have developed the entire app in-house, and the marketing team as well that have been working on the strategy since day one.
Are there any regulatory changes you see coming that can both sort of enable you to grow, but also perhaps, prohibit you from growing? I'm thinking, for example, on, how we within the EU have caps on roaming prices, etc.
Well, the EU, it's true that it has roaming, but we do target more international travelers. I don't see any regulatory changes in terms of like global roaming. It's not something that's going to happen anytime soon. Providers do work a lot towards having their connectivity and having different price ranges in each region, country. So it's still going to be a reality in the next few years. So for now, I don't see any that being a limitation.
I'm guessing your target market are, if you start from Europe and Spain, are people traveling outside the EU, not within EU. Is that correct?
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, clear. So that's where you're adding the value. And how do you compare price-wise to all your competitors, particularly when it comes to data?
Yeah, so it works locally. So whenever you go to the application, you have a list of countries, and then you can check in there. We are a marketplace, so you can check in there the different amount of the different providers, the different days, and the different gigabytes that you can see, and that's very easily comparable with our competitors. You can go into the same country, and for the same plan, you would see that it's cheaper with us than with our competitors.
Can you tell us more about your roadmap for 23-24?
Of course. So this year, our objective is to close with one big telecom. So right now we're working with more B2B providers or more startups, and we're looking to close either with Telefonica or Vodafone by the end of the year. We're in contact with them as right now I'm in the offices for their acceleration program. We just opened up our B2B channel for travel agencies a couple months ago. So we do close at least 4 deals at the end of the year. That's going to increase a lot the commitment of clients that we're going to have. And for the next years, in general, we want to increase into not only our target to be travelers, we want to be the marketplace for everyone that wants to look for a local plan. That can be whenever you're looking for you're moving to another country or any type of changes. So we want to be the marketplace, especially focusing on Europe and international travel abroad.
When it comes to acquiring customer brand awareness, etc., I don't know how much you're provisioning for that, but I guess it's going to be a quite substantial amount to get basically your brand out there.
That's why we have opened not only B2C but B2B, because we have seen there's a lot of potential in the travel market in terms of agencies, student organizations. We're already closing some deals that will help us grow drastically very fast, more on the B2B side. We still want to be a B2C company, but it's true that in order to grow faster, we're making those deals that allows us to go directly to our customer target.
When looking at the numbers for the SAM, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't find it very big. Do you have plans on sort of how you can expand that SAM over time?
Yes, of course. So that SAM is going to expand a lot in the next few years. Mostly, we're gonna work on targeting more into the customers, into where they're going. So right now, even the roaming industry is very big, so that's why the SAM is actually very broad, although it looks quite small. So we're gonna target more. And actually, in our financials, you can see that it does actually grow a lot in the next few years.
Julia, can you tell us more about the impact, let's say, of your business from an ESG viewpoint or sustainability, inclusion? What is your view?
Yeah, of course. Well, eSIM, it's very revolutionary because you will never need a SIM card again. Any of the plastic process of the manufacturing, of the sending to the client, all of that, it's completely erased. This is a completely fully digital solution. You only need your phone in order to activate, delete any type of the process. So that's a very big step towards environmental sustainability. And we're looking to connect everyone in every single country in the world. We're trying to give at the most affordable prices to everyone that needs connectivity. We know that it's a very big necessity to everyone to be able to connect it. I mean, we live in a very digital world, so we know it's essential for everyone.
In terms of the current round, for how long do you think with the current burn rate you will be in a position to maintain your growth, and when do you expect to get your next round?
So with the current with the seed round that we're going to raise, we'll have an 18-month runway.
The moment of truth. Direct feedback from the jury.
Well, I think what you're doing at ZIM is really, exciting, and the value proposition to end consumers is very clear. I always spend a lot of time to think about how to create and differentiate and create modes going forward, because ideally you want to be able to add something else but being the price leader.
I think what you're doing is amazing. Of course, you are competing in a very difficult arena. For what I can say, you provide a solution for something that is a real need for people. So you will probably not be impacted that much by whatever is waiting for us for the coming 2-3 years, but it's not going to be an easy environment for anyone. But the best thing I can say is, yes, invest in your mode, invest in some strategic geographies, probably much more. The global offer is always a good thing, but if you become a category leader in a couple of geographies, it will make easier for you to negotiate with the large big corporate, which somehow are a very important stakeholder in your system, if I may make a recommendation. And for sure, the other point is never underestimate the length of your sales cycle, or in any case, if you need to have an agreement with this kind of, or strike an agreement with this kind of big players, never underestimate that it could take much longer than any reasonable forecast, unfortunately. But well done, very, very interesting what you're doing.
Actually, I agree and disagree with Riccardo, if I may, because I think it's good that, of course, you identify key markets that you go to, but I think in your area, scale is very important, right? Because in a way, travelers are traveling internationally, right? But I agree with Riccardo on the, let's say, focusing on some key markets, but I think in your area or your business, scalability is very important.
I think the key for your short-term success is first identifying the right partners, and second, working on your cost per acquisition, which I find currently as not really very favorable for you. You've mentioned you're having your in-house team working. I'm guessing that you might be also trying with outside of your company team, where you can lock the spending at some threshold, at some cap, so that you can test if that works. But overall, really great job, and I do think that this is going to grow. I do think that this is a great domain to be in, as long as you manage to be somewhere at the top of the pyramid. We will showcase now only one of the scores anonymously from one of the jury members.
Participant number 3.
Hello, everybody. I'm Josh Riore. I am the CEO and founder of Worldz.
Joshua, such a pleasure to have you with us. And here is your superpower avatar, who will take you directly to the stage of the Founders Games.
"60 seconds pitch starting now."
Worldz is a B2B SaaS for e-commerce. We basically do social commerce in our unique way. When I invented Worldz, I noticed that everybody wanted to be an influencer, popular on social media, but only less than 2% of them were going to be popular in the social media. So that's why I invented Worldz. Worldz is a B2B SaaS for e-commerce and allows users to understand what is the economic value of their social media, of their engagement on social media. And thanks to this, they can take a credit if they share what they are going to buy directly on e-commerce clients in which we have installed the solution. The tool increased the conversion rate of our e-commerce client up to 150%. We have 300 e-commerce clients and 700,000 active users in the market.
Ready for Q&A.
Be interested to learn a little bit more about the increase in conversion. How does it look amongst different merchants? Are there any differences? Are there any typical products that this works better with? Or
well, we are agnostic about the kind of industry in which Worldz can be installed into. We have the integration for every kind of CMS, so we are agnostic about the industry and agnostic about the CMS. We noticed that the cluster in which the solution can work better is not the kind of industry, so for example, fashion, food, whatever else. It's about the kind of cluster that we can understand by machine learning. Because we have these machine learning software that can clusterize the kind of e-commerce in which our solution has been installed. And then we can understand what are the criticisms of that platform. And we can also do an A/B test directly on the e-commerce client. And so we can understand what is the uplift that we can bring directly on live session of e-commerce. So we can evaluate directly in a live session what is the uplift of sales that we can bring the e-commerce while is using the platform.
I have a question. I mean, I understand that a crucial element of your proposition is this social profile value that you give to users, right? So I'm very curious, is a scoring algorithm based only on numbers, stats, regarding the social profile of the individual, or there are some behavioral elements included in the scoring?
Yes, the answer is that it's not about the numbers. It's also about the fact that people used to share content and sometimes reach more people and sometimes not. So we can understand what is the quality of the kind of profile that we are measuring, let's say, and we can understand if there are always the same people that are interacting with the same content. So for example, if every time that I share something, I receive the likes and the comment from my mom, my friend, always the same people. It's something different between, for example, you, that every time that you post something on your Instagram profile, and then you receive a lot of people that are different from, the kind of circle that you have. So it's about the quality. It's not only about the quantity of the likes or friends or whatever you have.
What about the alignment of values? So, I'm Kanye West. I have a lot of people following me, but the kind of messages I'm sharing recently is not exactly aligned with a lot of brands' values.
Our software works in a different way. It's not influencer plus. If you as a normal user, as a normal people, let's say person, you are going to share something, the content is not the king for you. The king is that the fact that you are the one that is sharing something. I know that this is something that is related, but when this is related to Kanye West or a particular celebrity, influencer, whatever, it means that, the kind of people that you are reaching is the point. In our case, the point is the word of mouth. Is the fact that you, as a normal user, are sharing your experience. And since you are in touch with the people that you have a relationship with, your friends, your family, or whatever, the point is that you are sharing something. It's not about the content. It's about the fact that you are saying, I like this product.
If you can elaborate a bit on the competition, whether it is direct or indirect competition, because there are several players who, once you share something on social media, you can have this kind of coupons or whatever. So it would be good to understand how do you plan to, let's say, compete with such players?
Our direct competitors are the tools that increase the conversion rate. I don't know, maybe B.com or FunPlayer or Contents.com. So the kind of tools for e-commerce that increase conversion rate of their clients. At the same time, we don't know any kind of company that understand the value of popularity of a user and give them an economic value, an economic coupons, credit, whatever it is, directly into that page, into that purchase. I know that there are some tools, and these are, let's say, something like easier tools in which you can download and install directly on the e-commerce platform, easy tools in which you can give coupons maybe in the next purchase once that the user have done the sharing. But in our case, it's not about the coupons. It's about the fact that the user can pay part of the purchase that he's going to do with their social credit. This is something that at the moment, it seems that there is no other companies that do it. Anyway, we are in the market of conversion booster optimization tools. And at the same time, we are going also to open the market for the B2C. So we're going to go into the marketplace competition.
Can you please elaborate on the business model? I know that you have both flat fees and performance based on the uplift you bring to the conversion rate. Can you please give us a little bit more information here?
Sure. Well, it's up to the client because our business model is based on the fact that we ask them cost of activation. So every time that they want to try Worldz, they have this cost of activation. And then we give them 1 month for free, a POC, in which they can try the solution. After this period, they can have a plan that can be 12 months for 1 year. And then during this plan, they can choose if they want a performance-based solution, so they can pay based on the performance that we generate for them, or if they have a budget at the beginning of the year, they can ask us also a flat fee model. So they can say, okay, my e-commerce is, for example, 1 million unique visitors each month. Then we have the plan for this 1 million of unique visitors each month, and they pay flat fee. So it's up to the kind of client that we are speaking with.
How do you expect to actually increase your client base?
Well, we are going to reach Series A during the first quarter 2023. At the moment, I have to say that I was not in the market before Worldz. I was a pilot in the Air Force, and then I created this company. So I started with an approach that was bottom up. So I started with the small clients, and then we started with bigger clients as well. During the last month, we closed deal with bigger clients and some brand noted and something like, I don't know if you know, Alcott, Gatwich, Ligami.com, and bigger brands. And they are bringing us a lot of, notoriety, I would say, because once that you have been installed on a big brand, then all the users that are visiting that brand, that website, is seeing also our solution on that. So we are increases the number of clients that way. And at last, I will say that during the next period, we are going to open also the B2C market. At the moment, we have these 700,000 active users, and we are not communicating with that at the moment. So we are going to speak with them and try to bring them our technology directly from a consumer side. So we expect to go twice for the 2023.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the team and what competencies you also need to recruit?
I am the founder. With me, we have 4 departments: the development department, in which there are people that have more than 20 years of experience in the market. I am the younger in the company, to say. Then we have the marketing department, in which there is a brand manager that has more than 12 years in the web agency and content agency here in Italy during the last 12 years. We have a sales department in which and we have a sales manager that comes from another company that has 20 years of experience, and we have an account department in which there are 2 account managers.
I have a question in terms of your sales cycle. How long is it?
It's up to how much big is the client. If we are speaking about a small client, in one call we close it and we start the contract, and the client is live with us because we have the plugin installed on WooCommerce, PrestaShop, and Magento live directly. If we are speaking about bigger, corporate enterprise solution, then we can also take 6 months, 9 months to close the deal with them.
How about your predictability of the business in this case?
That's why we work in inbound, because inbound clients are small. So they contact you and they say, I want to try the solution, and you can close a deal with them on 30% of them. So every time that we receive 3 inbound, we close 1 of them, and we take something like 1 week to close a deal with them. And then we can put live the solution directly.
What's your current pipeline as of today for new clients?
We always run ads on social media. At the same time, we have several channels, I would say. We have an internal channel in which we run ads. So we acquire new clients, I mean leads. We do lead qualification. We contact them directly with the sales manager. And then in 2 or 3 calls, we close the deal with them. So 1 week, 10 days at most. Sometimes it happens also that in the first call, they say, okay, I want to try it. Okay. And we bring the account manager to close the deal with them directly. This is something that is starting to happen also with bigger clients, because when they see their competitors that they are using our solution, they are starting to say, okay, I want that solution. So they don't want to lose time. They want to work us up. And so this is the first channel. We have 2 more channels that are outside of us and are a partner that do outbound, and another one that is generating lead for us. So we have 3 channels to generate lead.
How do you see that you can have a positive impact in terms of SDG goals or other?
We are giving the opportunity to people to buy products based on what they are on the social media. I mean, at the moment, everyone, every influencer, I would say, every influencer can take, a particular advantage just because they are influencer, because they can reach out a lot of people. We are giving the opportunity to everyone to do the same. Of course, it is something that is related to how much big you are, But at the moment, there is no solution that helps you to do the same as the influencer, even if you are not an influencer. So this is something like, I used to say, democratizing the concept of influencer marketing, because no one can give you the opportunity to, use your value on social media to buy products. This is something that at the moment it seems that we are the only one to do it.
The money you're raising with your Series A is going to be, I understand, used for developing some piece of technology. So, you mentioned that you're at break-even at the moment. How do you see your kind of profitability path after this Series A?
Well, it's up to, of course, in which moment I can take the picture of the. I would say that our financial plan tells us that at the end of 2026, we will have enough cash to buy some companies, because we are going to. We have, of course, an exit strategy for our investors, and we have also a roadmap for reaching new investors. At the moment, the only concern that we have is to reach out the goal about number of revenue that we have to reach out. So the profitability that we have at the moment is something that we are not considering, just because we need to be at the break-even level. Our problem is about the fact that since it seems that we are the only solution in the world that does what we do, we could be, we have to run fast. And in that moment, it seems that we are not running fast. So that's why we are not considering any kind of financial aspect, but of course, the break-even point to grow.
The moment of truth. Direct feedback from the jury.
Interesting. There's of course a value in providing people with a digital way to monetize or extract value out of their social profile. From my point of observation, there's some alternatives around, but you guys have started with a very pragmatic solution, which means immediate value for the user, and I understand that is somehow making brands or e-commerce happy, because they can increase their CR, their commercial rate through that. So this is all good. If I may, just stay focused. What I perceive from our discussion is that you are full of energy and enthusiasm, which is a good thing. The risk you run is that you want to make too many things while stay focused. That's the crucial thing when you have a business which theoretically can expand in 100 directions at the same time. And what we learned from some difficult few months in the digital space is that the more you stay focused, the better you do in any case. Whatever special mode you have, if you have at least one.
You need to stay very focused and clear on your main KPIs and make sure that you deliver on that.
I have the same comment, and the other thing probably is not to underestimate the marketing basically spend you will need moving forward.
I think that you should be careful in presenting where you are now and where you want to go. It's time to see one anonymous scoring. Thank you so much. All right, now it's the time of truth. We have ZIM Connections with 37 points out of 60. We have Worldz with 33 points, and the winner is Cherry with 42. Congratulations. My request for all of you guys is to share your feedback from your experience.
I'd like to firstly thank the jury for the trust and the support into our project. We will try to get as much result as we can and trying to get some impact about what we're doing. As I tried to tell you previously, inclusion and financial inclusion in Africa is one of the most goals that we have in Cirillo. Even if we are not philanthropic, we want to do business, but we want to do business that matter. And I'm glad that the jury has seen that into our project. We're trying to do our best, and I hope that you will be proud about what we are doing.
Thank you so much for having me here in the first place. I think this is a great opportunity for every single founder of a startup. It's challenging time to always get out there and pitch your idea in less than a minute. I think there's a lot of things I want to say, and being able to say it in such a short amount of time, it's always challenging for everyone. But I definitely did see a lot of good startups here, a good level. And the questions from the investors, from the jury, were also very good. It definitely made me think a lot on the next steps that we have to take. Definitely very good feedback, very detailed. So I was very happy to be here today. Hopefully we'll go on the next part. And the next time that you guys make an event like this. So thank you very much.
It was a great experience. Thank you so much for all the questions and all the suggestions that you give me, because I think that it is very useful for me to understand your point of view and the point of view of an investor. I will say that I don't want to have a pivot, and even if it seems to be, but it's not a pivot. It's basically some add-ons. Of course, there are some other products, but are some add-ons, and of course, next year to show you why the kind of vision that we have at the moment is something that is working and is going to work, because also the kind of product that we are going to release are products that our clients are asking to us, and our clients and users are asking to. So that's why we are going to add these add-ons or product, whatever you want to call it, to the main product. But yes, of course, we will be in touch during the next season, something like that, and I will see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much for having me. It was a great lecture.
Thank you, everyone. That was the e-commerce episode of Founders Games.